Hey everyone, it's Alex, and I am here with another video update for the 90th Academy Awards. Today we're going to take a look at the 7 contenders for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Now, Best Makeup and Hairstyling is a very unique and interesting category because it allows for a wide variety of films to be nominated here. Films that use subtle makeup and hairstyling, and films that use a lot of makeup and hairstyling. Now, every year there are always 7 semifinalists. Basically all the eligible contenders are basically every movie that was ever released in the past year, and they always narrow it down to 7 semifinalists and then pick 3 nominees from these 7 semifinalists. I've said before, and I'll say it again, I honestly don't understand why this category still only gets 3 nominations when all the other categories get 5. I mean, even other award shows like the BAFTAs and the Critics' Choice usually have 5 nominees in this category, not 3. And I don't understand how the Oscars still do it like this, because by doing it like this, you miss out on a lot of great films that could be contenders here but are not. But I'm going to go over the films that are listed as contenders and talk about the films I think will be nominated and offer my opinion on films that I think should have been included in this semifinalist list but were not. So, the 7 contenders for Best Makeup and Hairstyling are Bright, Darkest Hour, Ghost in the Shell, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I, Tonya, Victoria and Abdul, Wonder. I think Darkest Hour is an absolute lock to be nominated because of the fantastic way in which they transformed Gary Oldman into Winston Churchill. I mean, looking at him, you don't see Gary Oldman at all. You see Winston Churchill, and it's as transformative of a makeup piece as it was, say, for Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln in Lincoln. I mean, it was so transformative that you feel like the real person has somehow come back from the dead. So that's absolutely going to be nominated. Then I think the second nominee will be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, because the first film got nominated, and usually when films in a certain franchise get nominated for this category, like the Star Trek films, they often get nominated for several subsequent films as well. And Oscar voters love films that use a lot of face paint and prosthetics and wigs and everything to just completely transform the actors into something unrecognizable. And then I think the final nominee will be Wonder, because again, this involves prosthetics. In this case, it involves transforming Jacob Tremblay into a child with a facial condition called Treacher-Collins syndrome, in which his face looks very different from a normal child's face, and it makes Jacob Tremblay look completely unrecognizable. I mean, and it makes the character that he's playing feel completely real. I, Tonya could possibly get in here because it's getting a lot of awards buzz, and there's a lot of hairstyles they have to do in there, particularly for Margot Robbie as Tonya Harding when they're in the late 80s and early 90s. And then you have Allison Janney. She has to wear a lot of hairstyles as well, and also some old age makeup when her character is an elderly woman. I haven't seen Bright, but I'm guessing part of the reason why it's on here is because of the makeup transformation for Joel Edgerton, since he plays an orc or something. I haven't seen the movie yet. Ghost in the Shell, I'm kind of thinking, really? No, I haven't seen the film, and it looked like a lot of the stuff in there was like CGI, so I don't know how much makeup was actually used, but given all the controversy surrounding that film, particularly the whitewashing with the casting of Scarlett Johansson in the main role, because this is a live-action adaptation of a Japanese anime film, I could see how that can hurt this film getting nominated here. So I have very low hopes for this film getting nominated. Victoria and Abdul, I could possibly see that being nominated, although there isn't really like a lot of prosthetic makeup or wigs or something used in there, so, but we'll see. Now, some films that were shockingly not in this list, which I'm very surprised about, are It. You know, whether or not you loved or hated it, I think you can't deny that the makeup, particularly on Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, was quite impressive. I mean, looking at him out of the makeup and looking at him as Pennywise, it's like, wow. And it certainly is a much better makeup job than what they did for Tim Curry in the 1990 miniseries. And while that makeup was still good, and I realized they probably had a much smaller makeup budget for a TV miniseries than you would have for a theatrical feature film, it still looked a lot better on Bill Skarsgård because it just gave Pennywise a much more creepy, sinister look. The Shape of Water also had some excellent makeup, particularly with Doug Jones as the creature. I don't know how much of that was true makeup and how much of that was like motion capture. I think it was probably a combination of both, but then again, Doug Jones is known for playing a lot of creatures where he has to wear heavy makeup, like he did in Pan's Labyrinth. And Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, that had some fantastic makeup with the alien designs that they had, since this film is set aboard this giant space station / city, and where you have alien races of various kinds interacting with each other. Now, maybe some of them, particularly background extras, may have been CGI, I don't know, but some of the makeup designs, like for Rihanna's character, who is revealed to be actually an alien, and the Rihanna form is just one of the many forms that she takes. That makeup design was really impressive, and a lot of the makeup designs overall were impressive, especially with the main aliens who become the part of the central conflict of Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. And also Beauty and the Beast, I thought that would have been an excellent addition here. Now, I know with the Beast himself, that was not necessarily makeup. Dan Stevens did most of his work for the Beast in motion capture, but since this is best makeup and hairstyling, you did have a lot of different hairstyles for all the main characters, like Belle and Maurice, Gaston, LeFou, and then all the castle staff in human form, like Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, Madame Garderobe, Cadenza. When we see them in their human form, they definitely have a lot of hairstyles and even some like extra makeup, and you know, that all looked fantastic. So it's a shame that that at least could not have been recognized, because it would have been well deserved. So if there were indeed 5 slots, I probably would predict that the nominees would be Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, I, Tonya, It, and Wonder. Those would be my 5 ideal nominees if 5 nominations were allowed in this category, but alas, they're not. But if I personally had to pick them myself, I would pick Darkest Hour, I, Tonya, and Wonder. So it's pretty much the same as what I think will be nominated, except I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 will probably take the spot of I, Tonya. But who knows, I could end up being wrong. Nobody's Oscar nominations are ever completely perfect. But that's all I have to say, because this is always the shortest shortlist of contenders I have to deal with. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and subscribe to my channel if you've not yet already done so, and also leave a comment in the comment section about what films you think should be nominated for Best Makeup and Hairstyling, as well as films you think were snubbed from the shortlist. And also be sure to check out my next video after this, which will be the final video I'll be making before the Oscar nominations come out, and that is all the contenders eligible for Best Picture. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!